So the old choice with paywalls, print for $200 to $400 a year, free digital. Then paywalls came along. New York Times, 2011, many, many papers. The new choice, very, very different. $300 to $500 a year, priced up, and now digital is included. We will be amazed when we look back that that first choice was out there for so long and this industry survived. More than 550 dailies across the world now have paywalls. One-third of the U.S. papers have paywalls, and Northern Europe is populating with paywalls very rapidly. Papers in Australia, Latin America as well. So the big number from what we're learning, you can make more money from readers. That's what I call the revolution of reader revenue. In the U.S. last year, U.S. newspapers took in 5% more in reader revenue than they had the year before. First major increase in a very long time. But what's coming is Paywalls 2.0. And this is Mark Thompson, CEO, new CEO of the New York Times Company. And he's calling what I call Paywalls 2.0, he calls working the engagement curve. What does this mean? It means uniquely readers who read news publications online touch that publication many times during the day, many times during the week. It's a marketing dream. Most businesses want customers to touch them. News companies get it all the time. So they're working the engagement curve. And this is where we turn to the future and the confidence, understanding exactly where we're at. There is a coming golden age of media and commerce. So what do I mean by that? 7 reasons here to be confident about the future as we go into 2014. The audience. We have a revenue problem in the publishing industry. The audience is huge and is growing more quickly now than it ever has before. Now, we know that anybody has been able to get, as these sites have been free, they've been able to get at our content from anywhere, and that's great. But now, because of smartphones and tablets, we actually are seeing a doubling of, and this is a US number, of internet minutes. And this is in a short period of time. Smartphones up 4 times, tablets up, of course, from 0. So people are spending a lot more time. Well, what are they doing? They're doing lots and lots of stuff. They're listening to music. Yes, they're listening to music. Pandora, very big, the Spotify of the US, 16% up in minutes over a year's time. Amazing. But what we care about is news reading. And Pew tells us that news reading is going up and up. People are spending more minutes. In fact, the last report they did showed 13 minutes a day more news reading. An amazing number. So number 2, paywalls have proven that readers will pay for digital access. All Access is this model from Spotify, FT, local papers. We have lots and lots of evidence that there is a single model that consumers like. I pay you one time, you get me your stuff on all my devices. Very, very simple. So let's talk about this age of crossover. Basically, the internet and news about 20 years old. The internet is a gawky adolescent for most of us. And if you were in it in the 90s, it was print, a little digital. It was really a lot of fun for those of us who got into it in the 90s because it seemed like a lot of upside. In the aughts, print was heavy, but digital was coming up. We're trying to figure out together, apart, what's going to happen. And now clearly, as we're in the 10s, we're only in 2012, it's clear by the end of this decade, 8 long years away, we're going to be in a mostly digital world. Already, researchers have shown how, because of our digital devices, we are offloading our memory to our smartphones and our tablets. Very interesting about smartphones is that for the first time, and this is research by Pew Internet Life in the US, saying that people are accessing news 13 minutes a day more, largely because of smartphones. They had tracked this time of news access has been tracked for 25, 30 years. And it's essentially been flat. TV takes a little more, newspapers take a little more, but essentially flat over 25 or 30 years. And now it's up. This should be great news for anybody in the journalism business. People are reading more news through the day. The more they get smartphones, the more they use tablets, the more they're likely to read.